And hello, everyone. Welcome to Founders Live Seattle. I'm Nick Hughes. I'm founder and CEO of Founders Live, and joining me tonight is Dan. How you doing, Dan?
Hello, I'm doing wonderful. Welcome to Founders Live Seattle, broadcasting to, of course, Seattle, but across the world. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, welcome. And we're so excited. It's just awesome to be back. It's awesome to be back online. Here we are again, virtual, and so excited to actually share a ton of new developments and incredible things happening here in Founders Live. And before we do that, we want to make sure that as you're a part of Founders Live, please share this link out real quick to your network. Have them join quickly to watch and join you on Founders Live. You can share that on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, but this is a YouTube link. So just share it out there and get them on there. As the ultimate entrepreneurial experience and virtual pitch competition, we have a lot of incredible things coming your way. So excited. But Dan, you know what we have coming up right now?
What is that, Nick?
We have a great interview with two up-and-coming investors. First Row Partners is a new investment venture firm out of Seattle. Really excited to have Yoko and Minda join us. So we are going to bring both of them into the conversation. And Yoko and Minda, how are you doing tonight?
Good.
Hi.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Good. Cheers. Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you. Yeah.
Welcome.
Well, welcome so much. So before we get started, everyone, we are going to have a conversation and we're going to do an interview. So sometimes we have, performance of artistic entrepreneur musician coming out of the city. Sometimes we have other experiences, but today we're actually going to have a great conversation with some investors here coming out of Seattle. And what we want you to do is think about a question that you would like to ask Minda and Yoko. And we will source some of those questions out of the comments in the YouTube channel. And on that note, that's a comment section. Please say hi. Look at that. Ron says he's ready to go. Melissa's right there saying, hello, everyone. So please type in where you're actually joining from. So what we'd like to know is, where are you joining us from? Where are you viewing in? What city are you watching Founders Live in? Because you're probably maybe not in Seattle. So really excited for this, but let's start the conversation. So what I'd like to do is formally introduce and bring in Yoko and Minda. And how about this? Both of you take a little short time to introduce yourself. Minda, how about you go first? We want to hear who you are and a little bit about First Row Partners.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having us. And I'm not going to do a song and dance show, which is like so good for everybody. So I have been in the startup ecosystem, since 1995 in some way or another, touching startups, tech startups, and spent a lot of years operating them, co-founding them, being part of leadership teams, and have had some, just really varied and different kinds of industry experience through all of that, which I've really found fascinating. And then it was a couple of years ago that I decided that I'd really like to take all of that knowledge and skill and sort of convert it into being on the investor side. And I really focused on what it took to make that transition and sort of go from thinking like a founder to thinking like an investor. And in that process, I met Yoko. And as we both really explored where we were going next, it made sort of sense from a market perspective and a personal career perspective to tackle the space that we're in, which is with First Row Partners, investing, a catalyst amount of funding into pre-seed companies, and really galvanizing the early funding ecosystem, which is really challenging. As I probably don't even need to tell this audience how difficult that can be to pull those first rounds together And so that's where we're focused. That's where we think there's a huge market opportunity, especially in the Pacific Northwest. But we see it across the country too, as we work with different deal partners.
Yeah, that's great. And, you know, we've known each other for a while, and it's been so great to see, you know, even you develop into, you know, not only as an angel, but now as you're forming your own venture firm. So I'm really excited. Yoko, how are you doing?
Good. You know, Minda's always great at kind of summarizing, getting a good summary of who we are and how we got where we are. So I'll just add a little bit about like myself, you know, to add to that context. So you know, I wish I could be doing a song and dance. I was actually a music history major. And so, you know, a lot of people are surprised to see me on the tech side, on the investor side, especially. You know, after a brief stint playing taiko Japanese drums professionally in Hawaii, I went into tech. I was at Google for about 8 years on a variety of what we call like print products. So things that were taking old print things and moving them online. So books, news. I was part of the you know, launch of Google eBooks, which eventually became Google Play. After a good chunk of time there, I transitioned into startups, and I've been more on the product side there with a marketing company and then an ed tech company. And during that time, I also started to build my angel portfolio. So I have a little over 30 companies in my angel portfolio that my partner and I have built up. And, you know, it was sort of timely as I was getting to this point where it's like, I really enjoy this thing. I'm doing it full time. I've been angel investing full time for about 2 to 3 years. Minda and I kept bumping into each other in the same rooms. We have and asking questions in the same areas. And so, you know, we started exploring what does it look like to be in the space together? What does it look like to sort of, you know, envision the future together? So that's how First Row came to be. And fun fact, I think, you know, one of the things that really drives us and the way we look at companies is our appreciation of art. You know, music is in my background. Minda is a big lover of art. She has, and so we often, I think, approach startups and especially critique of startups as you do art critique, right? You're really taking something that somebody has poured a lot of passion into, and you're really trying to help them make sense of it. So that's, you know, I think that's one thing that differentiated the way Minda and I approached startup investing.
Yeah, that's so great. And, you know, I love the involvement of art. The more I learn about entrepreneurship, it's such an art. And yet there maybe is, you know, there's science and data and all that, but it's such an art. And, you know, I think investing is as well. What influenced the both of you, and maybe this is a joint conversation on that in terms of the answer, but what influenced you to take the leap to start your own fund, and maybe dovetail on that, why now?
Yeah, I think Minda touched on that a little bit. And you know, there's a couple things. I think there is this gap and opportunity that we're seeing in the Pacific Northwest. But as Minda referenced, there's actually, I think, micro or nano funds, which is sort of the category we're in, is a growing group. I think I saw an article that referenced 900 micro nano funds across the US. So, you know, there's this sort of growing trend for operator-led funds, especially in these smaller stages and these earlier stages. So I think there's an opportunity there that we, again, with our operator experience, really feel like we're in the right place to be in. I also think from a personal perspective, you know, Minda and I, the more we spend time here, it's like, this is the place where we should be. This is the place we want to be spending this next phase of our careers. And so I think there's both this personal and it's nice when the personal and the professional kind of things all align.
Yeah, and in order to really get to what we saw the need being, which is catalyst funding, that means like not a 25K check, but a 250K check that starts that pre-seed round, puts a stake in the ground, makes it real, and then is able to sort of bring others in off the sidelines, is able to provide professional level due diligence, is able to sort of, you know, galvanize something to happen more quickly. And I think by doing that, it really necessitated us doing a fund right now. You know, we can continue to invest through collaborating on our own funds, but as we bring on investors, we'll be able to see that vision of catalyst funding really come into being. And so that's our strategy that we're really pursuing. because what we noticed in the marketplace as we were involved with angel syndicates and angel investing is that these founders were really having to herd cats over and over and over again. We saw it, and it just seemed like, can't someone just step in and just get this done? And so it's like, maybe that's us. And finding founders where we're really well suited to sort of see the early stage and comfortable making bets on early traction. And that doesn't always even mean revenue. And so we have our own way of sort of looking at the art of it and finding that first investable moment and going in with conviction. And that's our strategy. And we think that it meets a market need in a big way.
Yeah, I like that. Dan, I want you to just think about, think about a question. We'll get back to you and what you would like to ask these ladies. But one big thing I wanted to chat with both of you on is the state of angel investment in the COVID times. And, when you look at the early stage, seed to angel, stage, what has changed with COVID? And then, are these changes permanent from your perspective?
Yoko, why don't you start?
Sure. Well, one of the things I was going to say is, especially in the early months, I think when we were all kind of adjusting to shelter in place, and there was a lot of uncertainty. I think, especially on the angel investing side, again, because those are personal funds, there's you sort of saw a lot of conversations slow down, right? For angel investors, if I'm writing a personal check, I'm kind of I want to understand kind of what the overall view of like what's happening in the world before I take these risky behaviors. And it's sort of a like a human thing, right? Like when you're scared or when you're kind of unsure, you're not going to take risky bets. And so I think that we saw that slowing down on the angel side for sure. I think on the venture side, there's a clock running for funds that have already closed in terms of their deployment cycle. And so we saw continued activity. In terms of what's changed for us, for example, I think one really exciting aspect is that we always had sort of a Pacific Northwest as headquarters, but we were willing to look at deals across the across the country, or not necessarily in our geo. And I think that's actually gotten further accelerated. We're looking at deals across the U.S. It's becoming much more normal to not have to meet in person, but on the flip side, that does mean like it does take you a little bit longer as you try to get to know people over these like Zoom meetings.
And Minda, thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would just say that the one thing that maybe slowed VCs down a little bit, that same sort of personal hesitation, but also the need to protect their portfolio companies and make sure that they had capital if they needed to do a bridge round for anybody. And so I think a lot of them were really focused initially on turning around and shoring up their portfolio companies and making sure that they were getting the support they needed, both in terms of like financial recalibration, runway recalibration, and all the things that happen in these dramatic sort of turns. Some, I'm sure, really accelerated. Some, it was, a huge blow. But I think there was a huge flip to looking inward at your portfolio and not necessarily feeling like you needed to look at the new investments quite then. But I have really seen a resurgence of founders being out there and investors being willing to invest. And I don't hear much on the VC side about slowing down right now for those who have closed funds. They're still actively looking for great investments.
Dan.
And one quick thing to add too, I think usually in Seattle, I mean, Nick, you and I have talked about this, where I feel like summer season comes around, Seattle, the sun peaks out for a moment in Seattle and like everyone disappears. But I would say I've actually continued, I think partly because there was such a pause in the spring, I've seen the conversations continue through the summer. So, maybe being locked in your house, isn't so bad to some degree.
And also, some of the angel groups in town have reported that they've seen a huge increase in attendance since they've gone online. And so places like AOA and E8 are having record turnouts of their investors. And so in some cases, you may actually get a better crowd, a better sort of engaged, somebody who's really interested in hearing about these things because, they're looking for activity and distraction and interest and they want to engage and they don't have to drive somewhere anymore. So it's easier.
Right. Dan, a question, your thoughts?
Yes, absolutely. So my thoughts are, we have a lot of different people that are logged in right now to this YouTube live stream, and we've got, we have founders out there. We've got people who work for those founders, people who work for larger corporations within, the Pacific Northwest and across the world, really. What I'd like to ask is, so not everyone out there knows who First Row Partners is. Do you have any particular big wins with specific companies and or products and services that those companies deliver that would help the viewers connect with who you are?
Minda, you want to take that one?
Sure. So we formed officially in January, so we do not have any big exits to report, and I think that shouldn't be a surprise.
Yes, I understand that, but you all have been doing this as angels for a time before that. And
yes.
Our viewers want to know, like, what you have experience that you bring to the table with First Row Partners. And so you have all worked with this and you're about to do bigger things, which I'm excited for you to be able to do that. But I think that talking about some of the successes you've had in the past, even before First Row Partners, would be wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
who have you contributed to it, right?
All the startups that I've been part of, there are 4 startups where I've had a significant role since '95, and they all still exist. So that's super exciting to me.
That's a win. That's a wonderful win.
That's a win. One of them exited to Accenture. So but I think it's whether it's I haven't had any sort of like I was part of early, like Uber or anything like that. But I feel like the experiences I've had of going through a company near death and an acquisition or starting something and doing a successful pivot, I think it's more about what do you learn along the way. And so I've had formative learning experiences in terms of that have taught me to really focus on the customer and how to do customer development in the very early stages. And so I feel like some of my successes are sort of encapsulated in moments where I've been able to make the company either be able to survive to see another day, which is often like the big win, or, and in that case, sort of live to see another day so they could live to see another 20 years, right?
Yes, I agree with that. And that's really what I'm looking for is how do you affect change? Whether it's, you have an Uber or whatever else, to me, as an on the ground kind of an employee, and like, I live my life and I have all the things that I want to accomplish. It doesn't have to be that we have a unicorn.
I'll tell you just one like super quick little anecdote, which was we were really early e-procurement software, and it was SaaS before anyone was calling it that. What we were noticing, nobody wanted to process their orders online. They only wanted to do it by fax. And so trying to just force them to use the internet and do it online, it wasn't connecting fast enough for us to survive. So for us to survive, we needed to take the orders from the fax machine and enter them in on their behalf and send them on. And in doing so, we found that there was value in checking the procurement order, verifying it, having a verified thing. That ended up being a value add in the process. It didn't actually take that much time. And I tell you, it saved our bacon. And it allowed us to meet the customer where they were at instead of trying to, think that they were going to leap further than they were really able to. And so by being able to work with that and understand that, rather than sort of just try and force technology, we really had to look at where could we add value and survive. That was really important. And
those are some of the types of insights that helped Minda and I drive our investment thesis, right? So in order to sort of say, like, what are the parameters about, for companies that we're looking for, we actually looked back to look forward, right? So, there's I would say 3 general themes in terms of the types of companies we're looking at. So, all under the umbrella of, we believe that like technology should be used to scale compelling human insights, and in 3 general areas. So in how we connect, I think obviously we sort of know that the pandemic has sort of accelerated a lot of these interactions, how we contribute and how we kind of connect with economic opportunity, and then how we have choice in our consumer behaviors. And that's really this idea of, hey, e-commerce, online retail has really given us this amazing abundance of choice, but how do you actually tackle that abundance and make sure that the technology is serving you and not targeting you? So, we sort of looked at the places we spent our time, the places where we felt a lot of passion and interest and took early bets, and we're sort of translating that into the thematic areas that we're looking at.
So we have one question that we have about time for one question from the crowd, and Michael asked, is there a technology focus, and what valuation levels are you looking for at the stages that you are investing in?
Such good questions. And I think that that's what I would hope all founders would ask investors when they're sitting down to meet with them is, what's your focus? Because if I'm not in your focus, this isn't going to be an investment conversation. It's a get to know you conversation. And valuation levels is the same thing. If you're outside of the target of my portfolio strategy, it's not either. And so in terms of technology focus, you're right. We didn't answer that question. Instead, we told you our humanistic point of view. So we're open to a lot of different technology solutions, and but we stay away from anything that's pure hardware, I would say. And so that sort of tells you we're really squarely in sort of the internet and cloud and software world there. And then in terms of valuation levels, we're looking at things that are in that pre-Series A stage. I mean, ideally, we'd come in on the first institutional round when you're really below a cap of 10 million. And that's where we really like to look at where we can play a role.
Very good. Very good. All right. So, Minda and Yoko, it's been such a pleasure. And so what if entrepreneurs are looking to talk with you, if they're thinking about raising money, this is the last question. What should they do? How should they reach out to you? What would be your advice of the next steps?
Yep. Well, one thing that Minda and I have been passionate about for, again, another reason why we work together so well is because we are really passionate about just bringing more voices to the table. So whether it's on the investor side, in leadership roles with Seattle Angel Conference as fund managers, that was part of our focus is, hey, let's bring more investors to the table. Let's expand the pie, right? So we're really happy to meet with founders early on. We're happy to, you can reach us, I think, hello@firstrowpartners.vc. That's there's also a form on our site. We're pretty easy to find. So please do reach out to us. We're happy to answer questions. We love talking fundraising strategy. So please.
So anyone's interested in what is angel investing all about? I want to learn more. We have a lot of thoughts on that. And then, early stage founders where they're still trying to figure out, like, how does investor capital actually work to build my business? And they're trying to map that out. We are happy to have those conversations. And so, we'd love people to reach out to us.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Have a good rest of your night, and, stick around, watch the pitches, and, give your feedback.
Cool.
Sure will.
Thanks so much, you guys.
All right. Thank you.
Good night.
All right, Dan, we are.
Oh, that was great.
That was great. It's such a needed thing in the Seattle community, and so excited to see First Row Partners really start taking a leadership role. So excited for that. All right, we are back, and so Dan, I'm going to pull you off, and I'm going to walk through some thoughts here. Okay.
Excellent. Kick me out.
Yeah. All right, everyone. So great. It's so great to be here. And although we're not in person, we are here, and we are gathering together. And just to kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit, I would just simply say, get used to this. This is going to be the way for quite some time, and we're really excited about what's happening here. I'm going to share some thoughts. We're going to have some partners and sponsors talk, and then we'll get to the show of the night, that is Founders Live. But look, we're really excited building out the ultimate entrepreneurial experience and virtual pitch competition. And I can just tell you this. I can just tell you, you don't even need to know it. You don't even know it because you've been through it, but it's been one heck of a year so far, hasn't it? Well, I can tell you this, that this was me in March. I think it was like you too, right? You were like, what the heck is happening? Your face was probably something like that, even worse maybe. But this was me in March, trying to figure out what we were going to do. Not only that, but what the world was going through and how scary that was. Well, look, this was me in April, and maybe it was you too, right? And, you know, I'm just trying to figure it all out. I'm trying to figure out if this is something that's going to last a while or we're going to get through this quickly. But clearly it was puzzling, if that maybe even is the not as much of an appropriate word that I'm thinking that I'm not going to say. But April comes around and, you know, okay, I guess this is here for a while. And we're really starting to understand that life as we've known it is not anymore. And life as we are seeing it evolve is changing, and there's a new reality. And this was me starting to think about what that's going to look like. This is me in the beginning of June. I really started to dig deep. Me and our team internally, my advisors, dig deep to understand how can we recreate Founders Live, taking what has happened in the world and using that as an advantage to then move forward. You know, this was me at the end of June, and I'm like, hey, I think we can rework things, and so we got to work. And I can tell you, you probably did the same thing, but this last spring and into summer was a lot of work. As I've used this before, but rebuilding the plane in mid-flight, and that's exactly what I did. Really got into the under the hood of Founders Live, and we started to really look at what's going on. Well, tell you what, early this month, we really started to discover some really amazing things that were even right under our nose, and maybe we weren't even noticing it, or with Founders Live specifically, and really started to see what was going on. And I'll tell you, this is me right now going into the rest of the year. So really excited about what's happening. We're going to share a little bit for you today. There's a lot coming down the line. We are making a ton of announcements coming into the next month, and really excited about it. But I can just tell you this. This is the message of tonight. COVID is not the end of the world, and it is actually the start of something better. And I want you to know that no matter what you're going through, no matter what happened in your family or your life or your business, it's the start of something better if you approach it that way. So please take that to heart. Please know that, you know, you can make the best of this world, and there's a lot of good things out in the future there. So with Founders Live, we're really about inspiration, we're about education, and we're about entertainment. We're really excited to build this out. So Founders Live, as our global platform, you'll see that we have a global social network growing around the world. We have these live events that are happening locally as well as others now. But we really call this the homepage of the modern entrepreneur. So online, you're starting to see things come together that the whole thing here is to make you a better entrepreneur. So you can check that out. And then we have these live events. We have hundreds of guests. We have 5 companies that pitch. Each have 99 seconds to pitch. We're going to have 4 minutes of Q&A from the audience, and then we will vote at the end. So we are now globally live streaming these, as you noticed before, with all the comments and people jumping in here from around the world. So we are becoming the industry-defining entrepreneurial brand, and we will be that around the world. We're really excited about it. And I can announce this today, that welcome to the next generation of Founders Live. My gosh, I'm so excited for this. It's awesome what we've been working on. So, you know, this new version of Founders Live, we're seeing this not only in our city events, but others now, but we have these 3 sections that I'll walk through, but you have opening entertainment, we have the competition, and we have this happy hour networking that we would love for you to join in later. What we're talking about here is 3 sections: performance, and I mentioned it earlier. This we had an interview tonight, but sometimes we have music and entertainment, highlighting artistic entrepreneurship, because there is more than just coding. By the way, artistic entrepreneurs are creating the music you love. the art that you love to look at and the things that you sit on. So we have competition next. So we highlight these emerging talented entrepreneurs from all over the world. We do that. There's that competition that we're going to see. And then we have the networking. And so we believe that this combination is now, as we roll it out around the world, is sticking. It's fun, it's unique, and it's really, really starting to happen. Tonight, we are announcing Founders Live Primetime. So if you sat at a Founders Live, either in Seattle or other cities, and asked, what happens to the winners, and do they go on to compete at something else? Well, the answer today is now yes. And we are so excited to start layering on this global competition that we call Founders Live Primetime. So the winners of the city events will advance to additional competitions that are going to be oriented in continent focused regions. So there will be Founders Live Primetime North America. There will be Founders Live Primetime Latin America. There will be Founders Live Primetime Europe/Africa, given that they're really about the same time zone or in the same area of the world. So we'll have them compete on their level. And then we'll have Founders Live Primetime Asia and Southeast Asia. We'll throw in Australia once we do launch over there as well. Man, this is going to be exciting. So these will happen every so often throughout the calendar year. And we're also announcing that we are going to have a shorter version, but a 2020 World Championships. We are launching this in September. There will be 5 events. We will take 5 winners. There will be one global event from that, and there will be one world champion of the Founders Live Primetime edition of 2020. So you can see there, September 9th will be the first North America event. That basically means 5 winners from various cities will then compete in something like this, just like we're doing. We'll take 1 winner from each of those events. We'll have basically a North America event. We'll have a Latin America event. We'll have a Europe, Africa event. We'll then have 1 more North America event and another Latin America event. We will take those winners. And on November 18th, you got to be there. We will have the fun global 2020 championship. I'm so excited about this. I hope you are too. And this clearly illustrates that as we now go forward, there is so much more on the line, which is exciting. But as we grow Founders Live, these Founders Live Primetime events will become something that will be a lot more eyes on there. We're excited about it, a lot, possibly more money involved, or at least prizes and whatnot. And we're so excited about that. We also want to thank Net Capital, who we've now partnered with to provide an access to capital through equity crowdfunding that you will start seeing wrapping into not only these primetime events, but possibly even our city events. So I'm just so excited about that. And, it's just fun to announce it. Really, really excited. So, look, what started in Seattle is really starting to quickly expand around the world. And, we're now roughly in about 60 cities. And, look, some of those have gone quiet just because the world changed, and we're now lighting them up with what I just showed you, the virtual events that happen on here. But we're excited to announce that Montreal is our 62nd city and launching here in the next couple months, probably looking like September. So excited about that. But what I want you to know is if you want to start this in your city or country, just reach out. We are ready to expand, ready to launch in your city. And I can tell you right now, your city needs this. The founders and entrepreneurs need this. They need the exposure, the resources, the connections. And so we're really, really excited about that. The last thing I'll leave here with is why are we expanding so much around the world? And yes, there's many different reasons. We've covered them. But I believe that these core values are the main one. So the first one, and the most important, is respectful authenticity. We include everyone, and everyone should feel included. This is really about equality. This is really about what we are now calling entrepreneurial equality of opportunities, of connections, of funding, of pitching experiences. And so we're so focused on this, this inclusion and equality. And look, we just say be your authentic self, but you must respect others and theirs and give them the equal opportunities that you have. The second one is what we call gather around the campfire. And as we're figuratively gathering around this campfire, look, we're all storytellers. And as an entrepreneur, you need to really discover, go inside to really learn what is the story that we're telling, and how do we emotionally connect with people to follow us. And so we just say, find your campfire and entertain people, such as what you may have experienced when you were younger. Third, open the door. Big one for me. That actually should say, do great things for people without expecting a return. That is something very, very important. So open the door for them, make the introduction, do something great without expecting or asking for a return, because you know what? It comes back to you tenfold. I can tell you from personal experience, this is such an amazing value and principle. We just ask you to do that, and that's the community we want to live in. And the last one, fun one, is really just what we, no name tags, and that kind of doesn't really align here right now, but we really just focus on having fun, making business fun. It should be enjoyable, it should be entertaining, and just, stay away from the awkwardness. So thank you so much on that. It's so great to be here. I'm going to bring back Dan. So great to be here. Dan, join me again, my man. Are you there? All right. Well, when Dan is ready and he's back, we will make sure that he can join. There he is. Dan, can you hear me, man?
I can hear you. How are y'all doing?
You there? Awesome. Good. It's great to be back, and really excited. So we are now going to hear from some partners and sponsors that help make this really run smoothly. And, first and foremost, I want to bring up Nick Ellingson from WTIA. Nick, there you are. How you doing?
Hey, Dan. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Love the interview.
Oh, thanks. Please share with us some thoughts and how much you are supporting the early stage entrepreneurial community, because you're doing a great job, my man.
For sure. First, just want to double down and give shout out again to Minda and Yoko. They're awesome. For those of you who haven't met them, for sure connect. I learn something new every time I talk with either of them. And then also, Nick, really excited to see Primetime. Excited for Seattle to win. So yeah, hope for that. But otherwise, good to be here. As everyone can see, my beard continues to grow. So we'll see how long it gets. But I'm with the Washington Technology Industry Association, or WTIA. We're a nonprofit here in Washington State with the goal of basically building a strong, sustainable tech sector in the region. So we work with about 1,000 companies, startups up to enterprise. But what I do is I work with startups. So our goal is to provide stage-appropriate resources. We have a bunch of them. We can help with introductions, a bunch of discounts, cap table management, marketing automation tools, cloud credits, all that kind of stuff. As you grow, we have health insurance, business insurance, things like that. So I'm biased, but I think we're great. And so would love to connect with all of you. Shoot me an email, Nick, N-I-C-K, at washingtontechnology.org. And then otherwise, really excited for the pitches tonight. As always, all of you founders get free WTI memberships, which talk with anyone in our member base. It's priceless. So excited to connect with all of you later, and ready for the show.
Yeah, thank you, man. Good to see you. And WTA could not exceed my expectations. I'm so thankful and proud what you guys do. So thank you so much.
Love that.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. Next up, we have Bill Sablon from Now CFO. Bill, what's going on?
Hey, thanks, Nick. I appreciate you bringing me on. I've definitely been making some of those faces that you were showing earlier over these last few months. But it's kind of the life of a business owner, or a founder, is there's just always new things coming your way, and just finding how you're going to deal with them and what you need to do with your business. I think even in the best of times, that's what the life of a founder is. If you ever get lucky enough to feel like you've got it all figured out, just wait a day and everything's going to change. And what Now CFO does is try and gives you we try and give you all of the financial information that you need to make really smart business decisions. And we provide CFOs, controllers, bookkeepers, capital raise advisors, really any level of accountant that can, again, bring you that financial visibility. And we're totally flexible and scalable to whatever someone's needs are. So if you're a founder and you're struggling with your financial situation or just understanding things, feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'd love to talk to you about it and see if there's a way we could help.
Yeah, thank you, Bill. And I second that. They do great work. We actually work with them. We work with Now CFO on a number of things. And I thank you so much. You guys do great work as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right, Dan, our next sponsor, we're going to bring in Troy.
Hello.
Troy from Bernstein. How you doing tonight?
Great, my friend. How are you?
We're doing well. Yeah, we're doing
Dan.
well.
I don't
Troy.
have the beard that Nick's got. I feel a little bit jealous. I can't. I could grow the beard. I just don't. But it looks pretty nice. I could probably use it right here though. And it was good to see Bill too. I love having been a sponsor, Nick, of Founders Live for all this time, and getting to know the other sponsors and the team members like Dan has been just really, really fun and exciting. And for those of you who don't know who Bernstein is, we're a global research, investment, and management firm. We've been around 52 years. We manage over $500 billion in assets. And selfishly, I'm here to build good karma points. That's why I'm here. We only make money by managing money. So I want to help make these founders, these business owners, help them to be successful. So at the end of the day, when they're thinking about selling their company or taking it public, then maybe we get to manage some of that money, right? But in the interim, there's a heck of a lot that we could do. I focus my practice on startup owners from scratch to startup all the way through growth and exit and beyond. What we're known for is our research. So if these business owners need access to our research, they need access to our global network of people to really help them get connected and grow and be successful, then that's what I'm here for. So I'm a former startup owner myself. And I've run a worldwide software business and a hardware business. So I get the people who are out here presenting, and I just want to be a part of this great fun. So thanks again for having me.
Well, thank you, Troy. Yes, you are Troy is just an incredible introducer. And I think that's great. And it's, you not only do that, not only as an introduction, but it's a quality one. So I would encourage everyone, get to know Troy. He will help you out. He'll point people towards you if he knows how to help you. So, please reach out.
If I don't, I know someone who does.
There you go. All right.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Troy. See you.
Yep. Take care.
All right. And last, we have Melissa. Melissa Reeves from Story Fruition. And just so you know, to tee it up before she talks, Melissa works with our presenters every single month, and she does such a great job. And thank you so much, Melissa. I'm going to have you tell a little bit more about Story Fruition, but you see her product throughout this event, and it's just so great.
Thanks, Nick and team. It's great. So I'm excited about the show. So the point of storytelling, though, in businesses is that when you can master it, there is a lot of money to be made, not just in 99 seconds. I'm just going to share a quick story with a client that I had. There's a guy named Tom Spann, and he's the CEO of a company called Brightside. He also was the CEO and founder of Accolade here in Bellevue. And he hired Story Fruition last summer because he said, listen, I've got this really, really big investment pitch in front of Andreessen Horowitz. We've got the deck down, but it's just lacking something. It's lacking some heart. We need to show some case studies. I'm like, okay, I got this for you. Started story mining with him, and he had amazing case studies to share. There was this one woman, she was 34 years old, single mom, had 2 kids and 2 jobs because she had a $600 a month daycare that she had to pay for. So she literally was either going all day at her telecom, and then at night put her kids in the car, ran around town delivering Uber Eats. She wasn't doing real well with that, obviously. She was exhausted, and then her mother stole her car. And now she's like, I can't afford daycare. So what did she do? She actually kept her kids up all night long until 7 a.m. when she'd have to go to her telecom job. and then hopefully her kids would just sleep all day. Clearly, that's not a parent's ideal situation. And when her boss found out what was happening, because he was concerned, they hooked her up with Brightside. And Brightside went in there and they helped financially distressed employees. They're a B2B solution. And they found out that they could get that $600 bill down to $150 for daycare, and they could also help her secure a loan. When he shared those stories and he put that into his Andreessen Horowitz pitch, along with a couple of others, he landed $35.1 million in a Series A. Stories matter. They sell. And that's what I help people do. And I love it. And tonight you're going to see these 5 founders bringing why they're doing this every day to their fruition. So take your storytelling seriously. If you're in trouble with it, give me a call.
Well, I will second that. Thank you so much, Melissa. And you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
All right. See you later. All right, we are just moving forward here. So a few more things to touch on. I want to thank Women in Cloud. They are not able to be here to speak with us real quick. I want to just share with you that we are so happy to have partnered with Women in Cloud. And, you know, they are a community-led economic development organization, and they're taking action to generate over $1 billion in net new global economic access for women entrepreneurs by 2030 through partnerships with corporations, community leaders, and policymakers. We're a proud partner of Founders Live. They're a proud partner, we're a proud partner of Women in Cloud, and they're a proud partner of Founders Live. And we just want to thank them. And if you are a female women entrepreneur, take a look at their network and their community. It's incredibly valuable. So we thank them so much. Last few things here. All the presenters tonight get $5,000 credit to AWS just for participation. That's amazing. And the winner gets $10,000 AWS credits for winning this amazing event. And oh, by the way, you now just heard that they qualify to move on into a further experience. So we're excited about that. And Google Cloud for Startups, $3,000 credit to the presenters. We thank them also. That's great. Google Cloud for Startups. And that opportunity grows to $100,000 plus if you graduate and grow in their system. Breathe and exhale. Yes, here we go. We're ready to go. We're ready for the pitches and hearing these amazing startups tonight. I ran through it already, but this is what we're looking at, Dan. We're looking at the heart of the event. We're going to hear from 5 companies. They're going to have 99 seconds to pitch. Yes, that's a minute 39. We will time them. They have 4 minutes of questions from you, the audience. So you will ask those questions. We would like you to ask those questions, I guess I would say, in the chat, which I'll cover in a second. And we will vote and have a winner. So this is our lineup. We're really excited about it. So we have Own Trail. We have Bannister Advisors. We've got Loopy. We've got the AI App Store. And we have Body Guide. So we're really excited about this. Now, this is how we're going to vote. There's also a link below the video that you're looking at right now. If you're on a laptop, you can see right below this box of the video, there's a link to vote. But you can scan that with your phone, and that takes you straight to the voting poll. Don't vote yet. We have the pitches to hear, but that's how we're going to vote. This is how we're going to take questions. So if you're looking on a laptop, that arrow is probably pointing to the chat. If you're on your mobile, it's probably below the video. But this is how we'll take questions. We want you to ask the questions. Just type them right in there, and we will highlight them on the screen. So please, your voice matters. So Dan, what time is it?
It is time to pitch.
It is time. Go. All right, here we go. I believe that we have our first presenter.
Hello.
This is Rebecca from Own Trail, and we have her slides. Let me remove mine. We're going to add yours. We're going to pull Dan off. And Rebecca, are you ready?
I'm ready.
So on my go, I will remove myself and you can go ahead and pitch.
Sounds good.
Go ahead.
Far from linear, but so many young women think they're supposed to be. I'm having a virtual coffee with Alice. She's 28 and is uncertain about where she's headed in life and how she'll get there. She's asking me questions like, how did you know what you wanted to do? How did you make a big career change? How did you balance work and motherhood? I assure her that it's okay, there is no one right path. Understanding more of the unplanned and imperfect path that I've taken, she seems empowered to go back out there and kick ass. My ability to help her feels good to me too. The problem with this story is there are countless other women like her who could use a similar coffee chat. And even Alice will need more inspiration and different perspectives as she continues to navigate her path. And I will too, as I navigate my own journey. 75% of women wish they were giving and receiving more mentorship. Traditional mentorship is leaving women behind. I'm Rebecca Bastian, and the many experiences I've had like this led me to co-found OwnTrail. By creating a data-centric collection of women's life paths, we're scaling mentorship and helping women discover not the right path, but their path. We have an incredible team working on this and amazing advisors helping us along. With them, we already have almost 1,000 registered users since we launched in February, and we'll start monetizing through a subscription-based peer-to-peer coaching model. The trails being shared are uniquely authentic and inspiring, and the feedback we're hearing from both women and the press has been overwhelmingly positive. I hope you'll join us in taking our platform to the next level by supporting our crowdfunding campaign and by sharing the trail you've blazed on OwnTrail.
Rebecca, great job. Let's hear it. Everyone, let's hear it.
Yeah.
All right. So everyone, you are ready and you are ready to ask the questions. Type them in that chat. We have the first one, which I actually wanted to ask this. What would be the pricing and business model of this system?
Yeah, so we're going to be building a peer-to-peer coaching model on top of the OwnTrail platform. So while OwnTrail is available for all women to navigate in a self-guided way, we know that a subset of our users, who are the ones who really map to the $10 billion self-help industry in the US, will want some additional hand-holding and guidance as they navigate our platform and our framework. So we'll be matching those with some of our most power users that become vetted and trained to be what we call trail guides, and they'll pay a monthly subscription fee in order to work with those trail guides in order to really navigate their path.
Very good. Luis asks, what does this experience look like online?
Well, you can go to owntrail.com and check it out. What we have is women sharing their trails through life as a series of interconnected milestones. And you can browse through those. You can filter down to see the trails of women who share your same identities or experiences. And as of this week, you can have conversations about those trails to really ask and answer questions about what those experiences are that women have shared.
Oh, very good. Julie asks that she has a question for Rebecca and OwnTrail. How are you growing your audience and users?
So all of our growth has been fully organic so far. And so word of mouth, but we're partnering with organizations that support women through different sectors and industries and phases of life. There's many of those out there, and we're helping provide the technology to connect their members with each other and the aggregate data to let them know more about the lives of their members. And in exchange, we get this one-to-many user acquisition strategy that also lets us be really intentional about the diversity that we're creating on OwnTrail.
And, kind of following on to that, maybe expand a little more on the go-to-market strategy and acquiring new users. That's always it's a question. It's a difficult but fun one.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the partnerships are a big driver there, and it lets us go really broad in the features that we're building because these different organizations are going deep on really specific intersections of women's identity and life experiences. We're also seeing that a lot of women are sharing their trails, which we love, sharing them out on different social platforms, sharing with their friends, because the act of creating a trail is actually a really powerful experience in owning our stories and owning our narratives. And so we're seeing a lot of sharing happen, and that's building a lot of that organic word of mouth as well.
Very good. Ginger asks a little more detail on the monthly subscription fee.
So it doesn't exist yet. We will be building that out after we grow our really engaged user base first. And so we actually just launched a crowdfunding campaign this week. And through that, we're testing out price points on some of the different offerings that would be available in that. You can go to owntrail.com/fund to check that out. And that's a great way to both experience some of that as an early adopter and be able to give us some feedback on the price points as well.
Good. Allison asks, what do you need to grow? So this is more like a, what do you need from the community and the audience?
Yeah, so we need capital. So that's through the crowdfunding, and then we'll be raising around this fall. So I'm excited to talk to investors for that. And that capital will be used for, we have low overhead, but we want to be able to hire more engineers and start moving into some more data science positions as well, because there's some really incredible data that we are collecting here. We need women to share their trails through life, and we need everyone to invite the inspiring women that they know or that they admire from afar to share their trails. And we need great partner organizations to work with. And so really there's a way for everybody to get involved in what we're building here. And we're so excited about that because it's a powerful initiative that we can all help drive forward.
Rebecca, very good. Love Own Trail, and good job on the pitch.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to bring Dan back in. Dan.
Oh,
what a great. Yeah. Yeah,
what I love
on
so much about this is that it's it really focuses in on the a woman's path, but it doesn't make it just specifically about being a woman. It's actually about their journey through life, and it's not just a female branded app or whatever else, and that's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Our next presenter, we have Vanessa with Bannister Advisors. Vanessa, how are you doing?
Doing great. How are you doing, Nick?
Doing well. Good to see you. All right. And we have your slides. So when you are ready, on my go ahead.
Okay. All right. Is that your go?
That is my go. Go ahead.
All right. In 2016, I was working full-time while pregnant with a baby we knew would be born with a severe birth defect. At the same time, my beloved father-in-law, Jay, was continuing his treatment for late-stage cancer. I gave birth in February. Just 10 weeks later, our baby had surgery. And 3 weeks after that, Jay succumbed to complications from cancer and died. We struggled. Our family really needed help. I knew there had to be a better way, but I looked for it. I didn't find it. So a few years later, in early 2018, I set out to go build it. Fast forward to today. At Bannister, our professional team serves private pay and B2B clients with our lifespan navigation services. We compassionately help clients assess, strategize, plan, and then implement unique solutions to best meet their needs. Our experts help families in the moments when they need it most. We are a high-growth, early-stage company with offices in Seattle and Portland and clients in the US and beyond. Our team is made up of experts in healthcare, social work, mental health, legal and financial risk assessment, and even spiritual care. We're growing, we're growing. We would love your help to expand our employer benefits programming and to connect with new talent as we scale to meet increasing demand. My name is Vanessa, and I hope we get your vote. Thank you.
Great job, Vanessa. That was touching. That was an amazing story.
No stock photography, Nick. Those are all photos from my family's phones.
Oh my gosh, are you serious? So my first question, as we're waiting for the questions to come in here, and please everyone, feel free to, you're thinking something, so please ask it. How close, like, I mean, are they bringing you in as like an it's advisors, but are you working with them in a very emotional, like, literally strategy, like in the moment when it's urgent, or is this more light, kind of lighter, light touch type of experience? So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we get calls from anybody who have say, day one, I just got back from Seattle Cancer Care Alliance and the test results are bad and it's a really serious diagnosis and we don't know what to do next. We might meet with a widow, let's say, whose husband died years before, but she's still struggling with what to do next and some loose ends from a logistics standpoint. We also hear from people who have maybe gone through a chronic illness across a really long time, pediatric. Really, honestly, it really is a huge range. And whether it's a family or individual trying to prevent something really catastrophic or get through it, or somebody in the middle of a crisis or after the fact, because of the team that we have and the level of credentials that they come in with, and then the training and support that we give them, it's pretty unique, and it's absolutely the thing that you hope you never need. But we're there in a way that families, they just tell us that they can't imagine having gotten through it any other way.
Yeah. Some of you all might remember this. So I lost my father this last fall, and we knew it was coming. It wasn't, tragic in the sense of immediacy, but I would have loved to know about, Bannister Advisors and how you could have helped us. But this is amazing. Can you give us an example, just maybe a little more of an example of how, you've helped people over the last, year, in the near term?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I'll kind of just use a quick kind of, again, anonymized version. But when families are going through, let's say, not just a critical illness, but some other destabilizing effects, like sometimes there's a family business at the same time that the founder, let's say, is ill, and that's completely destabilizing. And then on top of that, the family stress and dynamics get really, really complicated. And so the way that we come in isn't by saying, oh, we'll just help you with this one thing or this one thing. We're able to come in and really kind of help quarterback that situation. It's one metaphor people use. Another one would be Mary Poppins. But at the end of the day, we help them strategize. And then we have this wonderful large network of other partners that we can bring in and kind of help orchestrate to really, again, address the needs that the people have, especially when they can't necessarily see around the corner. Not to get too personal, Nick, but it wasn't just in the immediate aftermath, I'm sure, of your father's death, but months down the road as well, that there's certain things that you need are hard to predict.
Oh, I'm still going.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's absolutely
not easy at all. It's not easy. In terms of the immediate moment, do you offer resources for families that are struggling with COVID diagnosis? Maybe that's a family member, maybe that's the individual, maybe it might be their parents, grandparents.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on this?
Absolutely. We've helped people even navigate the complexity of having one family member in the home that needs to stay in the home for whatever reason, and making sure that we have the expertise from a clinical standpoint that we bring in from our external experts as well as in-house to keep that individual safe. COVID is affecting so many people right now. And, for every one person that has it or might have it or is recovering from it, there's that ripple effect, maybe up to 9 or 10 more people that are impacted as well. So these family systems, they get quite complicated, again, especially during times of stress. And we can come in and we kind of sometimes call it family diplomacy. We can help people communicate better, help people really, come up with the right plan and then implement that plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of going off of that, Ginger has another question on, navigating difficult conversations with families. That's got to be a very challenging situation, and have a hard time communicating. So how do you help that?
I think that's a great question. So one of the things that we do is that the core of our team, we have licensed independent clinical social workers. They're coming with master's levels degrees. They're coming with decades of experience. They're coming with 4,000 hours of supervised supervision to get their license. But on top of that, we're then sending them to the law school to get mediation skills training, for example. And we're also supporting them to, increase their knowledge in different areas. So mediation skills is one area where we've learned that that's really required to do the job right. So that mix of both compassionate and professional and really being credible and trustworthy right from the get-go is how we help people get through sometimes very serious, difficult conversations, but that absolutely they're going to be better off by having them sooner rather than later.
Yeah. And, the last one, Luis just wonders, in terms of healthcare and caregiving background, what is your background and how did you develop this expertise?
Yeah, absolutely. So as the founder, my background is in business operations and strategy. I was a management consultant for 5 years prior to founding Bannister. For me, it's all about bringing on the right team. So when we're recruiting and we're bringing on the experts and the professionals, particularly in the core navigator role, I know that if I can pick and recruit, retain, cultivate, and support our team, that's where we're getting a range for anywhere from hospice expertise, complex elder care, oncology, suicide, self-harm, substance abuse, you name it, traumatic loss. So hopefully that answers your question. We're bringing it through the team members.
Yeah. Dan, quick thought.
Vanessa, I love it when we come across a founder who has taken something that, of course, obviously is, you know, a dark spot in your life and a tragedy, but you turn it into something that can help others. And obviously you drew great strength through that time. And I am excited to see what you do and how many people you can help in the future.
Thank you. Bannister comes from Jay Bannister Laughlin, my late father-in-law.
Wow.
All of this is in honor of him and in honor of what our family needed. This is our innovation time machine, right? We can't go back, but we can hopefully help families in the future.
Well, thank you,
wonderful.
Vanessa. Yeah, great job.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.
Ah, that was good.
Heartstrings, man.
Yep. I'm fighting it back a little bit. But all right, we have our next presenter, John Lee, with Loopy, and talk about, you know what? Yeah, John, so good to see you. And this, everyone, is why I love Founders Live. Yes, I am the founder and I did create it, but it's all of our community that is growing it. And what I love about Founders Live is there's so many random companies that will pitch in one event, and we go from, you know, Bannister to now Loopy, which is such I love that. It's an interesting idea in its own too. So John, when you're ready, so I'm going to pull Dan off, and when you are ready, we are excited to hear about Loopy.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Nick and Dan. I know for so many of us, just the sight of a dirty pile of laundry accumulating in your laundry hamper or on your bedroom floor induces anxiety and stress. But at Loopy, we get excited, and we get excited because we believe that pile of dirty laundry is in fact the next multi-billion-dollar market opportunity in the peer-to-peer space. We've created a peer-to-peer platform for iOS and Android that connects our early customers who hate doing laundry or don't have the time with individuals looking to make additional income from the comfort of home. It's as easy as packing our Loopy duffel bag, scheduling a pickup time, and then allowing us to wash, dry, fold it, and bring it back within 24 hours for a flat rate of $29.99. And guess what? Since we launched here in Seattle, we've generated now over $350,000 in early sales, despite the fact that Loopy does not own a single washer or dryer. Here you can see our network of early certified washers in blue and our customers in yellow. We're looking now to bring on more collaborators, advisors, early stage investors, and if you're good at folding, additional Loopy washers to help us achieve our vision here in Seattle as we begin to scale both out here in the Pacific Northwest and to new markets. If you have any questions or would be interested in connecting with me, my email is john@loopy.io. Thank you so much.
Great job, John. Great job. This is such, I just think it's interesting. And I know we talked earlier when we spoke, and you know, this is such an interesting use of the sharing economy model. So I think that's it's really great in usage of idle things around there. But I had a question. What locations or cities is Loopy available in? So thanks, autocorrect on my iPhone. But where are you located and available? And then maybe a follow-on question to that, as we're waiting for the audience to ask their questions. When can we expect the expansion to maybe other markets?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Well, the map visualization here on your right represents our main beta launch area here in Seattle. So all of the Seattle zip codes, including West Seattle. Earlier this year, we also launched to the east side, and we're planning our first market expansions to Portland in the next few months here. And the goal is, if we can hit our fundraising target, we want to start scaling this platform to as many new cities as possible, because our hunch is other cities will have just as much demand for a service like Loopy, especially during a time like the one we're living in now with COVID-19. So many people are looking for ways to make money from the comfort of home, and there's a lot of people who could benefit from a no-contact pickup and delivery laundry service, regardless of where they live.
So Katie asks, how are your unit economics set up to not exploit the supply side of the gig economy? And if you fully understand that question, maybe give a little bit of context as you answer it.
Yeah, that's actually a really powerful question. We know that there's so much criticism around some of the bigger peer-to-peer platforms that have come before for taking advantage of their gig economy independent contractors. But at Loopy, we feel incredibly confident that we're providing an opportunity for our certified Loopy washers that will improve their quality of life, because now they don't have to necessarily sit in their car for 12 hours as a ride sharing driver when they could be making money from the comfort of home while they watch Netflix, while they spend time with their family. So for, a whole host of reasons, we feel like, this is the kind of opportunity, especially when you survey the gig economy in 2020, there's very few platforms that allow you to make money from the comfort of home without leaving your house. And so, that's one of the reasons why we want to be able to introduce this to as many markets as possible.
Very good. Allison asks, how do you know your laundry will be washed with care or trust and with the security that they will actually come back to you? So do you guys only dry clean, or do dry cleaning only items as well? So that's kind of two questions there, but I would like you to address the essentially security and trust aspect of this experience.
Yeah, that's a fantastic question, and one we get quite often from our early adopters here in Seattle. We self-insure every bag. So, the customer doesn't have to feel, scared about letting us take care of their laundry. But we do tell our customers, Loopy is not necessarily a service for you to put your prom dress in the Loopy duffel bag. This is something for your everyday items. And while we want to expand to dry cleaning and other market verticals at some point down the road, right now we're really focusing on wash and fold. So we don't do dry cleaning yet. It might be a future optimization.
Got it.
I should also mention very quickly that we train our certified washers with a orientation software. That's actually the same software that Uber Eats uses to train a lot of their drivers. So it's a virtual orientation process where we can teach them what our standards are and what the expectations are for our washers on our platform.
So Akil asks about expanding on the pricing and also the process of verifying washers, and this could be maybe a challenge as you scale, but can you address those questions?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for us, we feel like the flat rate pricing model is more customer centric than the industry standard of per item or per pound. If you've ever gone to a laundromat or dry cleaner, that's typically what they'll charge. And so for us, we feel like, if we're a mobile app providing this service, it makes sense for our customers to know how much they're paying up front. So it's a flat rate of $29.99 for as much laundry as they can fit securely in one of our duffel bags, like the one behind me, as long as they can close the zipper. Now, again, I think there's a lot of different levers we can pull regarding price optimization and maybe introducing a subscription model down the road. But for right now, it's just a flat rate of $30 per bag. And I think I touched on this earlier, but we verify washers and they have to pass a background check. They have to go through our online certification program, and we actually have them complete a test order before they can get a real order to make sure that they're good at folding.
Wow. Dan, last words.
I really love this service, and I am very grateful also that they thought to ask about taking advantage of the service side, because you got to be a good citizen as the founder of a company like this, and make sure that you're respecting the people who actually provide the service.
No, absolutely. And, for us, our best washers last month made over $1,200 on our platform just doing laundry. And, we strive to create a helpful and beneficial platform for everyone involved, both our customers and our washers.
Well, thank you, John. Love Loopy, and let's see how you grow.
Great. Thank you so much, Nick and Dan.
Yeah.
Thanks, John.
It's interesting. So cool. So cool. All right. Our next presenter, we have Jen with the AI App Store. Jen, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, so great. All right, so we are looking for your slides. There you are. And when you are ready, it is your time to pitch.
Awesome. Perfect. Thanks, Nick. We are the AI solutions that help to improve your quality of life at work. So meet our C-level. Her name is Sammy, and Sammy is our typical frustrated CEO or tech executive in an organization. She is focusing right now on how to do her job remotely with kids, with family, with everything else going on in her life. And she's just looking for a way to take all this information that she's getting from all these places to try and make the best decisions she can for her company to drive value and continue to keep it afloat during these times. What we do at the AI App Store is we create an integration layer for these executives to bundle all of the tech that they need from an AI perspective. Now, AI may seem like a big word for a lot of us who aren't in tech, but a lot of AI is used today in our everyday lives, but it's hard to understand. On average, there's 7 new pieces of artificial intelligence that come out every day. So what we're doing is helping companies sift through and create an integration layer to know which tech is going to move the needle for them. We create a bundling software system so they're able to answer a couple of questions for us and then see a centralized dashboard. Now, Sammy, instead of looking in all these places, has everything right where she needs it. So in conclusion, we're bundling and consolidating all of the data and issues companies see to operate at speed and scale and make quicker decisions in their marketplace. We are the glue that aggregates.
Oh my gosh, perfect timing, Jen. Great job. This is amazing. So as we're waiting for the questions to come in, I had my first one, which was, can you expand on specific market verticals you would be focusing on first?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, what's really funny for us at the AI App Store, there is a huge issue in the entertainment space, just on cruise lines and unused capacity in hotels and cruise lines. So we were really focused in that space, solving their specific business challenges. But obviously with COVID-19, we all understand that not a lot of people are getting on cruise ships right now. So as a company, we quickly pivoted to gig economy, gig market, financial, and insurance, because all of us know right now, everyone needs their insurance. They need that capability, but they want to make sure that the data that they're getting to drive decision-making is appropriate. So we've shifted and pivoted during this time to some of these really critical industries like insurance and gig economy and gig market to make sure that the delivery services that all of you use are optimizing so that you're getting what you need when you need it. So one of the questions I think that was asked is around what are the challenges these integrations are solving in industries? So I'll give you an example. Right now, a lot of data is coming from various spaces. So you don't have that in a consolidated space to make decisions. So for companies, tasks that would have taken them, as an example, if you just want to know consumer feedback on how people feel about your platform or product, you may need 4 people and multiple weeks to get that feedback brought back in, aggregated, and then make decisions on it. What we're actually doing is taking that feedback and getting it turned around in an hour. So imagine now, instead of you having to take 2 weeks and multiple humans, our platform allows you to get that information in under an hour to make more real-time business decisions, and that's where we're focused. So anything where we can help companies make these real-time business decisions to drive how they serve better the consumer, where there are things that aren't going the way they need them to go, that's really what we're focusing on right now in the AI space. So we take a very human-centric approach to AI.
Very good. And can you give it a specific example of your added you? And my guess is that's, you know, how about just the value add that you bring? And maybe that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things happening right now, I'll give you an example of one of the partnerships we're doing. Right now, during COVID-19, access to jobs, internships, and opportunities is hard to come by unless you have the network and know the right people to ask to get those. So we're building a platform for internships, jobs, and opportunities to be algorithmically connected to 25 million students across the globe. So those are first gen to college students. So people that don't have those networks, their parents didn't go to college, they don't have those connections. We're building those connections for them through an algorithmically connected AI platform that they now have access to be matched through AI to the right folks to get those opportunities, to have those jobs.
Oh, very good. And, you know, Allison asks, what do you need to grow? So this is, again, the question of what do you need from the community, the audience? What would help you here?
For us right now as a company, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm a female in AI, in tech, which is unusual. And I didn't tell you where I hail from. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. So I'm from the middle of the country. I'm not on the West or East Coast. A female in tech. I grew up in Oracle and big tech. But what we really need is people who believe in supporting traditionally underfunded founders and companies and coming out to step up to help see this tech have its full potential. So we would love advisors. We would love people that understand how to network and support these types of things in companies. We're seeing a lot of traction, but we always accept more advisors, support, and then people that really believe in funding off-roads outside of traditional markets as well.
I would second that ask. So thank you for saying that. And, you know, we hope that we can help you with that. You know, Ginger is wondering around data security.
Yes, huge thing, right? So that's one of the things we do. So I mentioned, on average, there's all these different new techs coming out, and we serve as a trusted advisor for the folks we're working with around how to know what's happening with these different technologies. Can you trust them? What are they doing with your data? So anything we put into our app store, we're certifying around where the data is coming from, how they're leveraging, what it's being used for, so that, again, we have trust in tech and you don't have to worry as the consumer, did I validate that this isn't going to be the next big news story that's going to hit CNN or CNBC or one of those?
Very good. Dan, last words.
Well, Jen, I just want to say that you did mention being a female in tech and a founder in AI, and I'm very excited to be able to have you part of Founders Lab, because you are certainly a rarity, and we're very excited to see what you accomplished.
Thank you so much. I appreciate Nick, Dan. Thank you for having us. We're so honored.
Great job.
Thank you.
Okay, we are at our last presenter of the night, the fifth presenter. We've got Deborah with Body Guide. How are you doing, Deborah?
Good. How are you, Nick and Dan?
Doing well. We've got your slides right here. We're going to pull Dan off. And Deborah, when you are ready, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, this is John, who works at home in Seattle, doing one more Zoom meeting, when his phone pings him, oops, that his mom, who lives in San Diego, is experiencing some ankle swelling. He finishes his meeting and calls his mom and sees that she's not feeling well. Hey, Mom, how are you doing? Oh, I just can't seem to get going today, and I really don't want to wind up back in the hospital. Mom, you have some ankle swelling, and you need to take an extra pill. Yes, I see that on my Body Guide display. John's mom is one of 1 million heart failure patients who are rushed to the hospital each year because they fail to recognize and respond to fluid retention until it's too late. After her recent hospitalization, John and his mom purchased the Body Guide anklet, a simple and reliable way to manage fluid retention. John's mom continued to experience ankle swelling over the next couple weeks, and Body Guide directed her to visit her cardiologist, who reviewed her swelling history and changed her medication. John's mom is now able to manage her heart failure, and cardiologists have the feedback required to guide their patients' care. Body Guide is pre-revenue, and we're currently raising capital to commercialize our product. We've successfully completed field testing. We have multiple issued patents. Our product launch is a direct-to-consumer sale. Reducing heart failure hospitalization is a global health priority. A simple, reliable method to manage fluid retention is a large unmet medical need with a worldwide market of $10 billion. I'm Deborah Kessler, co-founder and CEO of Body Guide, bringing peace of mind to heart failure patients and their families.
Great job, Deborah. This is an amazing product and a great pitch. I think it's incredibly needed. And, you know, my question as we get going with the questions from the audience would be, you know, where would we find these? Is it simply on a website, or are able to find them in our local communities, as well as a second one would be go-to-market strategies of how you would want to grow?
So, you know, managing chronic disease is something, and helping our parents as they age is something that many families face. And so typically right now, when you're standing outside of that hospital and your mom's just been released, you say, what do I do now? And you start the whole research process. You can Google. So there is an aspect of kind of like 4 ways that we reach our clients. One is the traditional advertising, which includes online, radio, TV. But there's also the exit from the hospital. There's usually some social work or exit instructions that are given to your family. Also, there's senior centers and community centers that people get word of mouth. But a lot of times you're released into the nursing homes or the assisted living or home care agencies. So all of these are avenues where we would touch our customers. But importantly, long-term strategy is that because we're reducing hospitalization, this is a product that's very interested to Medicare. And so the primary long-term contact will actually come as a prescription from your doctor or your cardiologist, or on the exit from the hospital.
Got it. Well, Luis asks, you know, any plans to integrate with Apple Health or any of these online or like, you know, digital health platforms and apps?
You know, I watch them carefully all the time, and we have no opposition to Apple Health or Microsoft Health Vault or any of those. But our company has a very important principle that because we must be simple and we must be easy. And most of the apps you see today, I'm going into a senior market with busy families. We're happy to integrate with those, but we specifically build our interface so that it's simple and easy to use. It's out of the box, it works, it's not a lot of setup. So while we're open to that, our out of the box product has to be simple and easy to use.
Ginger is wondering, how possible is it to expand into medication tracking for people and or tracking pacemakers and etc.?
Oh, you're reading our roadmap. That's exactly where you need to go. We're actually building, I'm an old rocket scientist, not old, I'm a wise rocket scientist, and we're actually building a guidance, nav, and control system to managing your healthcare. And medication is really the control arm. We can monitor and we can see the navigation or where your body's going, but to get it back on track, we really use medication. So medication long-term is a very important part of the process. So really great question.
And another question is, how much does that device cost?
Okay, so our pricing model is an upfront fee for the hardware and then a subscription model monthly. We're looking at the $250, $300 range for the devices, and then a subscription model, $30 a month. But I love my seniors. They're always looking for a discount. So we offer them a discount if they use it.
That's great. All right, I'm going to bring Dan right back in here for the final last word, Dan.
Hey, that was great, Deborah. And I'm really excited about this because my parents are a little bit of troglodytes, and having something that can help them with this kind of monitoring and stuff that's simple to use is going to be great.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Deborah. Great job. And
thank you guys for the visibility that you give all of our company.
All right, enjoy. maybe some of the best pitches we've had.
I was just going to say this might be one of our best samplings of what's going on in technology right now.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting.
So everyone watching, you know, please share your love. Do some claps in the comments. You know, give these presenters some love. But what we're actually gonna do is it is now time for the next phase of this event. So we are going to vote. It's time to vote. We can scan that code with your phone. There's actually a link down below in the description box of this video. So when you're on YouTube on your laptop, you actually see that description box below. If you're on a mobile device, it's actually, you have to hit one little arrow button and it shows you the entire description. There's some links in there. There's the voting link. We're going to take a few minutes. Dan, we're going to hang out because we don't have any music to entertain us. So we got to hang out here and chat a little bit. But we are now voting. We're going to take a few minutes, probably 5 minutes. We'll come back and see who is the winner of the night. Dan, though, I want to ask you, how have you, from your perspective, because you have been around Founders Life for quite a while now. Actually, I think you probably were the very first one. The very, very first one, which was what?
We were over at the Norton Exchange building.
Is
that right?
We were at the Exchange building. And what was it called?
It was called Feature Friday.
You got it. And
which from a logistics standpoint was maybe a little short-sighted at the time. to only do it only on Fridays, right?
So how have you experienced and seen these pitches expand or improve as we've gone to a virtual pitch environment?
Well, I actually think that you know, having it on screen where we're doing this, you know, this kind of dance with pulling in the different you know, the pitch and the share screen and having the founder have to talk. I actually think that they're polishing it a little bit more. In addition, during this time, we've had you know, Melissa with Story of Fruition helping polish their presentations, and so I think that this has caused everyone to kind of stretch and grow a little bit during this time. So I'm pretty pleased with the way that things are progressing.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And as we're still voting here, you know, I should have mentioned also, if you're brand new to the platform, you might need to take a few steps to put in your name and email. Make sure you go back to that poll that you saw initially when you scanned or went to that link. Make sure you go back there and double check and make sure that your vote counts. Because if you had to walk through a sign up process real quick, it doesn't fully remember. I mean, you got to go back and just double check and touch that or click that vote again. So please make sure that your vote did count. And that might be a subtle way to say your vote counts. So please, everyone, vote now and vote in November. I had to slide that in. You know, yeah, I think, Dan, you know, I think that, you know, I was saying this earlier today. I was a very big skeptic of the online event. I was, and when COVID hit and it became something of an obvious, very big challenge, I was concerned. And you know, we were able to find, you know, with StreamYard and this experience and everything that we're doing now, I am the totally opposite of that. I'm excited for our future, and I think it's actually improving the pitches. Now speaking in person in front of a crowd of 200, 300, 400 people is important, and we'll get back to that. But I think the pitches are definitely polished because of the technology that we're using. Your thoughts?
Well, you're exactly right about that, because there's that element of fear that you have when you're speaking in front of people. But when you have a founder who's doing their pitch in this platform, they're really just talking to themselves on the screen, and they see you or they see me, but they have to feel like you're standing in front of several hundred people or however big the attendance was for the event. So I think that removes an element of that fear, and maybe gives them a little bit of courage. And so when they do get a chance to speak in front of, say, an investor in person for a meeting or whatever else, they're going to be just that much more strong and prepared for when it really counts, standing in front of a crowd.
Absolutely. We have 30 more seconds. If you haven't voted, please do. We have some results coming in, and we have 30 more seconds. Please make your vote count. If you have any issues, feel free to message, share in the comments. I haven't been following in the comments, but yeah, this is, look at this. There's Melissa. Michael says, great job. Ron is just saying impressive. Ron is actually asking, did she coach all these presenters? And the truth is yes. And I can tell you that just as we continue forward, the presentations, the pitches, all the founders, they're better every month. What do you think, Dan?
No, they really are. And to be honest, it's always been the case where the founders have taken the time to get coaching. In particular on the pitches, they've always done better and outperformed others who chose to not take advantage of that opportunity. So I would encourage any founder who wants to pitch at Founders Live, take advantage of the coaching. Makes all the difference.
Well, everyone, this is the time. If you refresh your page, you probably see it as well. But we are going to bring in Rebecca from Own Trail.
Yay.
Oh my gosh.
Yay, Rebecca.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
Great job. Great job. How do you feel?
I feel super excited, and I felt more relieved. I've been drinking a cider ever since I finished pitching, so I'm doing better now. I was a little nervous about the 99 seconds, but super excited and super grateful to everyone that voted for us. I hope that there's a lot of women out there that are getting ready to share their trails too, and people that are getting ready to share out the idea behind Own Trail, because it's definitely a community initiative.
Yeah, and I think it's so interesting. Maybe the question is, before we close up here, I like how you've the brand and the trail. I think that you've actually taken something nebulous in life and made it a substance of a thing that people can talk about and actually grow. So where did that idea come from? How did you take that and then put it into a product?
Yeah, I mean, the idea actually started with this book that I wrote that came out in February called Blaze Your Own Trail. And it's a choose your own journey, interactive exploration of women's life paths, with the goal of really, experiencing and believing that there is no one right path, and with creating this sense of solidarity around a lot of the experiences that we go through that can feel really isolating, but that are, in fact, really shared experiences between women. And so I actually thought I was starting off by creating a book launch platform, and it ended up just really taking on a life of its own. We ended up really realizing some problems that needed to be solved and coming up with some big ideas for solving them, and really taking the concept behind the book, which is, all these different forks in our journeys and decisions we make, but realizing that that's just a finite number of the infinite paths that women really experience. And so I come from a product background. I was at Zillow for 15 years, leading product and culture there. And so really taking these journeys that women experience and that we share one-on-one with each other and try to say yes to as many copies as we can, like I mentioned, and creating more of a kind of structured by data, but powered by community approach to sharing out those paths. And you mentioned the branding, and my co-founder, Katie, is actually our chief brand officer. And so she has been behind a lot of that. And we have an amazing designer, Yvonne, and our VP of engineering, Carolyn, and just incredible team that's really taken that genesis of an idea and then just run with it and created beautiful, amazing things.
Yeah, I mean, Dan, I know you said something earlier, but your thoughts?
Yeah, it really is just amazing. And I do love how you've taken this opportunity to create something that can just allow, the ladies out there, women out there to share these stories, because it ends up being an encouragement to everyone to be able to share those victories, and of course all the other things that come along in life. And I do like the way that you kind of described it as like we are choosing our own adventure, and when you use the kind of that storytelling kind of a perspective into this, I think that you've really got something there.
Thank you. Yeah, we're really trying to embrace the authenticity, because you can look around to all the social platforms and see these like picture perfect end results, right? And that's not what we want to be seeing. We want to know what what obstacles we've overcome and what the real journey looks like. So we're trying to create that space.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you.
So Rebecca, you'll be getting some things from us as well. And one of the big things I really would like you to join us on the podcast. That's one thing we offer our winners is we want to hear more of your story. So you'll get that, and excited to talk with you. And hey, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to talk with you more.
Yeah. All right.
And thank you so much to Melissa, because she totally coached me on the storytelling, and she was amazing. So I highly recommend her.
I'm
gonna third that as well. So great job. And okay, so stick around. If you can stick around for the networking, people will probably want to chat with you as well. And so hopefully we see you in there.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Man, what a great night. What a great night. And we are coming to the end, Founders Live Seattle, of the pitch and competition aspect of this. I wanted to actually, before, you saw that. But again, I wanted to just say such great pitches from everyone, all presenters tonight. You all were amazing. Of course, we have a winner, but everyone did a great job. And really, this is a lot about exposure. And it's exposure, it's feedback, it's experience. And you all did such a great job. So I want to thank you and just say great job once again. The next event, everyone take note of this, Wednesday, August 26th. And we are going to combine the Seattle and the South Sound team and community to have a combined event. And so that means that we'll highlight a few founders from the South Sound, as we did launch there, Founders Live South Sound, which is Tacoma area and in south around Seattle. We launched there in February. COVID hit and things kind of got a little wacky. So we're going to do a joint event. We're excited about that. That will be the 26th. Please mark that down. We want to thank everyone. And we also do want to, again, thank First Row Partners with Minda and Yoko. Great conversation, great insight, and excited to see what comes out of their investments and how they impact the community. And again, every Founders Live is now your Founders Live. They're online. You don't just have to watch Seattle. If you liked this, there's one of these that happen at least once a week, if not as we continue to grow. These events on a city level will happen a number of times as we continue to grow. And then the Founders Live Prime Time. Keep your eye on that. That's going to be exciting. We'll make sure that you know about that. And also stick around for the happy hour. The happy hour link is down below again, right next to the voting where that was. There's a happy hour link, and I will actually post it in the chat session as well. So let me make sure that I get that. The link will be also in the chat right here. It's a Zoom link. Please, I don't know if that's clickable, but maybe you can just highlight it, put it in a new window, join us in the chat, and then in the networking. That'll be a Zoom room. You can turn on your camera, you can hang out, grab a drink. Obviously presenters, just kind of let the nerves just go away and chat with people. So Dan, final thoughts.
Great show. Again, I think that we've had some of the best pitches here, this show and the show before. And, every single time we do these, we see better and better quality coming out of the entrepreneurs who are presenting, the founders that are presenting. And I encourage anyone who's interested to jump in, get a hold of Nick, and let's get you on one of the next sessions for Founders Live.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dan, for co-hosting. I want to give a shout out real quick to Claudius, Memba, who's a part of our team, Nick Ellingson, who's a part of our team. And also, just last but not least, hey, we're looking to add to our Seattle team, and we are looking to add some diversity, especially in the gender area. We are looking for some female team members. If you are feeling inclined to reach out and say, you know what, Nick, this is great, would love to join the team, how can I be a part of it? We are growing our team in Seattle, so please reach out, say hi, and look, it's nick@founderslive.com. Not a tough one to guess, so email me and say hi. And if you want to join our team, we have some areas that we want to bring in more team members to help grow, not only in Seattle, but around the world. With that, signing off.
It's time for happy hour.
It's time for happy hour. Another great Founders Live Seattle. Thank you all so much. You all are why we are growing and why we continue to be great in the community of Seattle as well as around the world. So thank you so much. I'll see you in the networking. Please come join us for at least a while. All right. See you later.
Everyone. See you later.
Good night.